Good morning. Welcome to the first committee hearing of the Select Committee on the Climate Crisis. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. Today, we are going to hear from young Americans who are concerned about climate change and who are working to be part of the solution. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes to give an opening statement. This committee is explicitly charged with finding solutions to solve the climate crisis so that we can, quote, honor our responsibility to be good stewards of the planet for future generations. So today we're starting with the Americans who are the most affected by the climate crisis, young people who are growing up in it, who are going to bear the costs and the burdens, and who will help us find opportunities and solutions. The last time global monthly temperatures were below average was in February of 1985. That means all of our witnesses and everyone who is 34 years or younger have grown up in a world that has been forever altered by climate change. In fact, this is the first Congress with members who have grown up in the climate crisis. 6 of our colleagues were born after that last below average month. And the severity of the climate crisis this generation will have to deal with in their lifetimes depends on the actions that we take now. We have made some progress in recent years in cutting carbon pollution, but it has not been enough to stop the climate crisis. Communities across the country are feeling the impacts and bearing enormous cost here and now. When I was in science class back in the day, I didn't learn about how burning fossil fuels could change the climate. But students learn about that now. I'm Gen X, but millennials and Generation Z have grown up knowing we are in a climate crisis, and they are demanding that we address it. And I want to be clear, we need this young, vibrant, smart generation that is central to America's democracy. They work, they pay taxes, they vote. And increasingly, they are doing everything they can to solve the climate crisis. In their schools, in their houses of worship, in their communities, they are taking action. And they are demanding that elected officials do the same. Solving the climate crisis offers opportunities for them. Some of the fastest growing jobs in America are solar installers and wind turbine technicians, clean energy engineers. These are no longer the jobs of the future. They are the jobs that this generation is doing to solve the climate crisis right now. This is a transformative generation. The March for Our Lives, the People's Climate Movement, the massive student climate strikes we saw all around the world, these are movements led by young people who are demanding climate justice for their generation and the generations of young people who will come after them. 70% of young people in America say they worry about climate change. And based on the latest science from the administration's own National Climate Assessment and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, they have reason to worry. Seas are rising, snowpack is melting away, and in many parts of the country, droughts are getting worse. Hot, humid heat waves are becoming more intense. We're faced with more days where people cannot safely work or play outside. And higher temperatures mean that other pollutants like ground level ozone from car exhaust will become even more damaging to our health. What is necessary to address the climate crisis is to stop carbon pollution from accumulating in the atmosphere. That requires action, urgent action, ambitious action. Every ton of carbon pollution we avoid, every new solar panel and wind turbine we bring online brings us one step closer to solving the climate change challenge. So I want all the young people who are with us here today and those who are watching at school and across the country to hear our promise. We can't afford to let you down or disappoint you. The time for rejecting climate science is over. The time for frustration and despair in the face of the climate crisis must end. This is a time for hope. This is a time for solutions. This is a time for all of us to come together, all generations, all political persuasions. for action. You all are rising to the occasion. We must rise with you. Finally, when I was preparing for this hearing, I was reminded that April 4th, today, is the anniversary of the date in 1968 when we lost one of our great spiritual and political leaders, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King understood how powerful young people are when it comes to fighting justice, fighting for justice. In 1960, amid some of the most intense student activism of the civil rights movement, Dr. King told students at Spelman College, "Keep moving, for it may well be that the greatest song has not yet been sung, the greatest book has not yet been written, the highest mountain has not been climbed. This is your challenge." Today, solving the climate crisis is not just your challenge, it is the challenge that we all share. And this committee is dedicated to ensuring that Congress meets it with you.